we know it would. Don't worry, boys, we got lots of wood. The form has begun, we sing our song. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Creak and crack, now nail it back. The rudder is split, we know it would. Don't worry, boys, we got lots of wood. Rudder begun, we sing our song. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Creak and crack, now nail it back. The crow's nest fell off, we know it would. Don't worry, boys, we got lots of wood. The crow's nest begun, we sing our song. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Ship bomb is lost, we know it would. Don't worry, boys, we got lots of wood. The ship bomb begun, we sing our song. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Creak and crack, now nail it back. If the needle went bad, we know it would. Don't worry, boys, we got lots of wood. The needle begun, we sing our song. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Creak and crack, now nail it back. The captain had left us, we know he wouldn't. Our captain is loose, he left his post. The captain is loose, we sing our song. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Creak and crack, now nail it back. Creak and crack, now nail it
Tonight's story was developed from a report contained in the files of the Gloucester Historical Society. Like many others which I have come across in the course of my research, it involves happenings of which we've long been aware, but for which there are no satisfactory explanations. Captain John Elwood of Gloucester, Massachusetts, had been a long time at sea, but his first thoughts were not of his wife and his home. If they had been, perhaps none of this would have happened.
Come in. Here's the log, Captain. Everything's in order, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Elwood.
The crew's anxious to leave, sir. Most of their wives are waiting for them on the wharf.
Indeed. The way they're behaving, you'd think we were months overdue instead of just 2 weeks.
They've likely heard of our trouble with the snakes, sir. Happy to see us alive.
Well, just the same, they'll grab their men by the ears and march them off to the paymaster before they start to kiss them.
Ah, sir, some. There are all kinds among them.
Is Mrs. Elwood out there?
Oh, no, sir. The captain's wife is too well bred to show her emotions in public.
Indeed. I want you to do something for me, Mr. Logan. I have to go to the company's office to make my report. Will you see that my gear's taken straight to my house?
I'll do it myself, sir.
That's very kind of you. Tell Mrs. Elwood that I'm fine. Be with her presently.
Aye, aye, sir.
Just put it anywhere here, Mr. Logan. I do appreciate your coming. I was so worried, what with the hurricane and reports of the plague.
Oh, it wasn't the plague, ma'am.
Oh?
Well, just a lot of poisonous snakes that came aboard while we were in Florida.
There was talk that some of the men died.
Aye, 2 seamen. 3 others were bitten, but we saved them.
It must have been a terrible experience.
We were finding snakes, ma'am, all over the ship 2 weeks after leaving the wharf.
Did the captain say how long he'd be?
No, ma'am. Just said to tell you that he'd be along. Presently.
Well, best be getting his dinner.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Logan.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Good to be back, Barney. This place is more like home to me than my own house.
Hey, we missed you, John.
What's been happening while I was away?
Oh, now, let me see. The Clarawell foundered 2 weeks ago off the coast. Nobody lost. The packet from England was late again, as usual. I think that's about all. Things have been fairly quiet. See, how about those snakes, John? When are you going to tell us about them?
As soon as I get something to wash the salt out of my throat.
Oh, yes. Bessie!
Coming! Coming!
And all of a sudden, there they were, slithering up the lines and the gangplanks like so many fiends of hell. There's hundreds of them, somebody yelled. See that they pay their passage before they come aboard, I said. Hi there, my pretty. You're the one I've missed the most since I went away.
You ought to be ashamed, taking such liberties, and you a married man.
Well, if I weren't married, would you still object?
Ask me no questions, and I'll tell you no lie. Afternoon, Mrs. Elwood.
Good afternoon. I'd like a bottle of that Spanish wine that Captain Elwood favors. I think he'd enjoy it with his dinner.
Be supper, more'n likely, ma'am. Club's having dinner in his honor. But I'll get it for you.
Nobody would have been hurt, but some of the fools tried stamping on the snakes with their bare feet. Excuse me, gentlemen. Are you by any chance spying on me?
No, John. I only came...
I know why you came. Go home and expect me when you see me. You may charge the spoilage to me, Captain Barney. My apologies, gentlemen. Shall we go home now, dear? You humiliate me in front of my friends. You spy on me.
I'll never do it again. But I wasn't spying, I swear it. I only wanted to get a bottle of wine for your dinner.
And the table, was that part of your affection?
I don't know what came over me. John, all the time you were gone, I missed you so. I prayed for you. And when you turned your back on me, I wanted to strike out and hurt you as I was hurt. I'm so ashamed.
Well, you should be. I'm sick of your explanations, sick of your apologies. I'm sick of you, Ruth.
No, John. Leave me something.
Ever since I married you, I've been trapped. And for what? The price of a ship that went to the bottom 3 months after I bought her.
You needn't have said that. I knew why you married me. I knew my father's money made up for the fact that you didn't think I was gay and amusing like the other girls were. I knew my friends were laughing at me because they knew why you married me. But it made no difference. I loved you. I still love you.
Oh, you're talking nonsense.
No, John. Please hear me out.
Let it alone, woman. You're digging up things that are best forgotten.
No, I couldn't bear it if it were only the money. There had to be something else. John, maybe it's not too late. Maybe we could start all over.
Oh, Ruth.
John, I'm drying up into a bitter old woman. Help me. Please. I'll unpack your things.
Oh, what's the matter?
A snake! It ain't get me!
What?
Oh. John?
It's all right, Ruth.
The snake.
He's dead. I killed him. Oh, I've taken care of your hand, and the doctor will be here soon. I don't think we'll need him, though. I'm sure I got all the poison out.
You saved my life.
Well, there wasn't much else I could do.
You could have let me die. Why didn't you?
Don't be foolish.
But you could have. And if you had, you'd be free. No more arguments. No more trouble. You could do as you pleased. But you didn't. You saved my life. Oh, John, maybe we can start all over. Maybe.
Try to get some rest, Ruth. I'll get you something warm to drink.
It's a lucky thing you were home, John. Snake bite's a terrible way to die.
Well, she's much better now, and the doctor says with a little rest she'll be just as good as new.
Hey, you're thankful for that, I'll wager.
Oh, I can't wait to sail again. Always more trouble ashore than when you're at sea. And I can't make any money just sitting here, much as I like it.
Speaking of money, here's something that'll make you sit up and take notice. The widow Smith got a letter from London this morning. Seems an uncle died and left her 20,000 pounds.
20,000 pounds?
Hey, he'd be a lucky man that gets her.
He could buy any ship in the harbor with that.
Too bad you're already married, John. You know, I always had a sneaking suspicion that she was partial to you. Well, drink up and let's have another one on the house. Hey, you're not still thinking of that money, are you?
Oh.
It won't do you any good. You got one wife too many. Come on, have another drink.
Oh, thank you, Barney. I don't think I will. I'm going to get back to Ruth. Ruth?
Yes, dear?
I've been thinking over what you said. Maybe what happened this afternoon is a sign for both of us. We will make a fresh start.
Oh.
By Harry, I'm going to take you with me on the next voyage. I'll fix it all up with the owners in the morning.
Oh, John, I love you for the thought. Are you sure you want me to come along?
Why, of course I do. Oh, I've been very selfish about the whole thing. Seeing new places, doing new things, and you've just been left alone here in this old house. No wonder you were unhappy.
No, it's not that at all. I love our house.
Well, you want to come with me, don't you?
Yes, of course I do. But I warn you, I'm not very good on boats.
Huh?
I get sick.
Oh, nonsense. Couple of days at sea and you'll be just like a regular old sailor. Besides, I want you to come.
John, you won't be sorry. From now on, things will be different.
Yes. From now on, things will be different. Have the carpenter repair the afterdeck ladder before somebody breaks his neck.
Aye, sir.
How are you feeling, Ruth?
I'm much better, John.
Good.
I'm better.
Good. The cook's made you some more of his specialty. Another calm day like this and you'll be completely well.
I didn't mean to be such a burden to you, John. You've been very patient with me.
Nonsense. I should have brought you before. You've no idea what a comfort you've been. No idea how lonely a captain's life is.
I should like to be with you as often as you'll let me.
So you shall, my dear. Don't let your tea get cold.
You know, I dozed for a while and I had the strangest dream.
Oh, I hope it was a good one.
Yes. I dreamt this was our old ship. And instead of cotton, there was money in the hold.
Well, I couldn't improve on that myself.
We were so happy in the days when we had money, John. I find I'm thinking of them more and more since we left home. But when I'm well, things will be different, John. You'll see.
Yes.
Yours.
You're not very well. You'd better come and lie down and get some rest.
I didn't mean to get sick, John.
All right.
I didn't want to get sick. I'm such a burden to you. I should have stayed home. I should have stayed at home.
Try to get some sleep.
You asked me to see you after my watch, sir.
Yes, I did, Mr. Logan. Frankly, I'm very worried about my wife's illness. You've always been handy round the sick, and, well, frankly, I thought maybe two heads be better than one.
Yes, sir.
I wondered if you'd take a look at Mrs. Elwood, too.
I'd be glad to do anything for the missus, sir, if I can.
Good. First, I thought it was cholera.
No, sir. It's like nothing I've ever seen.
Well, if she's not better in a few days, we'll lay a course for St. Augustine.
Aye, sir.
And you'll enter a full report in the log, won't you?
I will, Captain. I do hope she's better soon.
Thank you, Mr. Logan.
How close are we to St. Augustine, John?
We hit some rough weather during the night. Slowed us up.
Rough weather? I didn't even feel it.
You were unconscious, I'm afraid.
We must get there soon, John.
We will, dear, we will. Now try to get some rest. I have to go up on the bridge.
Captain Elwood. Sir, we're way off our course to St. Augustine. If we don't turn now, we'll...
I'm well aware of our position, Mr. Logan. My order stands. We stay on course for Jamaica.
But I looked at Mrs. Elwood yesterday, sir. She won't last that long.
My wife and this ship are my responsibilities. She'll be alive when we get to Jamaica, I warrant.
As you say, sir.
Get back in there.
Liar. You want me dead. Mr. Logan. Mr. Logan.
You had enough poison to kill 2 people. You might as well know it now. I wanted you dead, and now you will be.
You're an evil man, John Elwood. And you'll be repaid with evil. You... Oh.
John, you can't spend the rest of your life in mourning. You got too many good years ahead of you.
I miss her, Barney.
Oh, of course you do. It's only natural, but you've got to start thinking of yourself. Ruth wouldn't want you to become a hermit.
It's lonely without her.
But at your age, that can't last forever. The widow Smith has been visiting you, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been very kind. She knows what it means to lose someone you love.
She's a fine woman, John. I think she's got her eye on you.
Oh, nonsense, Barney. I'd never think...
Oh, I'll give you a year. Nobody expects you to wait longer. And, John, it's time you got out of the house now.
Think so?
I do. We're having supper tonight in honor of a new member. Your old first mate, Logan. You've got to come, John. He'll be expecting you.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm giving you orders. Now stop acting like a lost puppy.
All right, Barney, if you say so.
I do, sincerely. Now it's time for me to get back to the club.
Why, Captain Logan, congratulations and welcome to the club.
Thank you, Captain.
I haven't seen you since the inquest. I feel I owe you an apology. You were right and I was wrong. I should have changed course for St. Augustine when you wanted me to.
Makes no difference. Now.
But it might have, and you were trying so hard to help her, you almost gave me the impression at times that you thought I wanted her to die.
Gentlemen, gentlemen. The food is on the table, gentlemen. Clumsy wench.
I didn't do it, sir. I didn't.
You're the only one in this room?
I didn't touch it, sir. I swear I didn't touch it. Look. It's exactly the same as when Mrs. Elwood did it. 'Twas a ghost, sir. 'Twas a ghost that did it, sir.
Stop that nonsense! 1,000 pardons, Captain. Give us 10 minutes, and in the meantime, the drinks are on the house. Now, Get out, both of you. You may come in now, gentlemen. 'Twas the girl did it, gentlemen. Saints preserve us. 'Twas her ghost. Her ghost.
No. You fools, are you frightened by a superstitious servant girl? Barney Logan, help me, I'll show you, it's nothing. You're behind this, Logan. You're trying to trick me.
Trick you into what, Captain?
You think I killed her. You're trying to trick me into saying that I did. No, I didn't. I swear I didn't. I swear I didn't.
Captain Elwood, I think you'd better leave. Aye, he finally got a ship, if you could call it that. No other master would sail her around the harbor. She leaked like a sieve, and her crew, well, I wouldn't sail with them across a mill pond. But 'twas all Elwood could get, so he took her.
Captain Barney. Gentlemen, have you heard? It's the Coverly.
The Cope. That's Elwood's ship.
Aye, her crew's just been brought into the harbor.
What happened?
Nobody knows. They say that the weather was fair and the sea was calm, and suddenly she just broke up.
But her crew was saved.
Aye. All of them, all except Captain Elwood.
It's retribution. The devil has claimed his own.
Gentlemen, the food is on the table.
Again.
There it goes.
The law demands an eye for an eye. He who takes a life must be prepared to forfeit his own. But the law is man-made, and when there is no proof, the law is helpless. Captain Elwood never came to trial. Nevertheless, he was found guilty and executed. Who was his executioner? We may never know. But an unseen force that can overturn a heavy table is not to be reckoned with lightly. Please join me again for another journey into the world of the unexplainable, which lies behind the veil. Good night.
Mr. Pop.
Eat.
Our mystery drama, A Ghostly Game of Death, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Murray Burnett and stars William Prince. Nameless horrors, a nice phrase, but as soon as you put a name and identity to horrors, somehow they prove bearable. In the last century, people have shown that they can and do bear up under mass genocide and atomic bombings, but the horror that is nameless, that is the most fearful of all. And our spine tingler will try to put a name to one kind of horror.
You are not real. There are no such things as ghosts. I'm just imagining things. But I see you. I see you. No, don't. Don't hurt me. Whatever you are, please, stay away from me. You want me to leave the house? I will, if that's what you want. Just please let me by. I'll go right down the stairs, walk out of the house, and never come back. Is that what you want? Please. No! Don't touch me! Let me out!
Suicide. That's what all the papers say, Mr. Garth. But we know better. It's ghosts. That house is haunted.
Mr. Flanders, my field of study is the supernatural. But I can't even begin to tell you whether I can help or not until you get control of yourself.
I'm sorry, but this whole thing is just about putting our firm out of business.
Well, the house, Mr. Flanders. Do you have anything on the history of the house?
Yes. It was built in the early 1800s by a sea captain named Ephraim Hatch for himself and his bride, a young lady named Lucy Endicott. And they lived in it for some 4 years until the tragedy.
Mm-hmm. You have the details?
Well, Captain Hatch was supposedly a hellraiser in his youth, but also a great seafaring man. He was in whaling and, if the rumors are true, slave trading. At any rate, he amassed a fortune. He fell in love with this Endicott girl who was the town beauty, married her, settled down, and built this house.
Mm-hmm. The tragedy.
Well, the story goes, as nearly as we can piece it together, that the captain returned from one of his voyages earlier than expected and found his bride entertaining a lover. And he killed them both. Horribly. And ever since, the house has been haunted and unlivable. We're building a condominium. This house is a key location, right in the middle of the property we own. We can't even get wreckers to tear it down. No one will go near the place.
Well, you keep telling me that no one has lived in the house. What about this girl who just died there?
Oh, that was a stupid idea of my partner's. Her name was Roberta Ginley, a television reporter. She wanted to make a name for herself, and my partner sold me on the idea that if she spent a night in the house and then went on television and told people about it, our problems would be solved. And now we're in a worse mess than before. That's why we came to you. Well, there you are, gentlemen. The haunted house.
Well, is it always this windy, Mr. Flanders?
No, Mr. Kelly. Only when the wind blows from the east off the ocean.
Well, for a haunted house, it looks substantial enough.
Well, shall we go up to the house, Mr. Flanders?
Why don't you two go? I'll wait for you here.
You'll be quite safe, Mr. Flanders. It's broad daylight. Jim Kelly here has been with me in more haunted places and dealt with more ghosts than any man, except myself.
And don't forget Byron. Byron is my dog, Mr. Flanders. And like me, he doesn't believe in ghosts. Huh? Do you, Byron?
Oh, I'm not scared, gentlemen. It's just that so many times well, I don't want to influence you.
Suits yourself. Come on.
Let's go, Byron.
You bring all our gear, Jim?
Well, it's back at the motel. We won't need it until tonight. Wow. They certainly built solid houses in the old days. Look at this door.
What?
Take it easy, Byron. Boy, everything's okay. You got the keys?
Right here.
All right, in we go. Come on now, Byron, come on. We're on our way to meet the ghost.
Tim, keep Byron quiet.
Sit, Byron. Come on, sit.
I don't think we should bother with the downstairs. Let's go up and see where we're going to sleep tonight.
All right, I'm with you. Come along, Byron.
Oh, this looks like the master's bedroom. I'll sleep here.
And I'll sleep in this little alcove here, right off your room. Byron! God, what is the matter with you?
I wouldn't try to take him into that alcove, Tim. He can stay in this room with me tonight.
All right, all right. Hey, there's a door here leading outside to what you call the Widow's Walk. Want to come out and look around?
I'll be right with you. Just checking the fireplace. Gonna need logs.
Okay.
Where's the door?
Ah, it's right here.
Hasn't been open in a long time.
Ah, what a view. Look at that ocean. Any woman waiting out here to see her husband's ship come in might be blown away.
From what Flanders tells, the captain's wife wasn't too anxious for her husband to return.
That's right. She was too busy entertaining her lover.
Watch out now! You go over the rail!
Oh, right. Thanks, Mr. Garth. If you hadn't caught me, I would have gone over.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. I don't know. I lost my balance.
Come on, Tim. We know each other better than that. What happened?
I really don't know, Alex. But I swear, I thought someone pushed me.
Mr. Garth, I'm not at all sure I'm doing the right thing, and I'll understand if you don't want to go through with this. I'll pay all your expenses to date.
You're concerned about my safety?
Yes. A real estate deal is important, but not that important.
Mr. Flanders, you'll have nothing on your conscience. Tim and I will spend tonight in the house, and by tomorrow, the ghost should be at rest.
And you think there is a ghost?
Well, of course. I just don't believe in its malevolence. Have you taken care of the wooden logs for the fireplaces?
The men wouldn't go into the house, but you'll find plenty of firewood outside the door.
Fine. Then I'll be on my way.
I've never seen Byron act like this.
Something to think about.
Well, I've been with you on about 50 of these haunted house deals. You think there's something different about this one?
Well, I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Well, I've heard that sort of moan before. According to you, Alex, it's a ghost in pain.
It is.
Sounds like the evening's entertainment is about to start.
Tim?
Yes, Alex?
We've worked together for a long time, and we get along so well because I respect your disbelief in the supernatural.
Which has come in handy when I uncovered a few tape recorders and other little fake devices.
Right. But for your own sake, Tim, there's something about this house that seems different. Now, please, be careful.
Huh? You trying to scare me?
Oh, I don't think that's possible.
Right. Now, how about some wood for my fire? Oh, whoever you are, if you're trying to scare us, it's not going to work. You know, in all the years we've been working together, Alex, I've yet to see a ghost.
But you've heard them.
Oh, so you tell me. You talk with them. I just hear noises, and sometimes they're man-made.
And sometimes not.
Would you strike a match, please? Ah, that's better. Get some of the chill off the room.
Fireplaces always seem to make a room more cheerful.
The electricity must have been installed around, I guess the turn of the century, huh?
Well, I've seen brighter lights, but at least we have lights.
And candles. Oh, did I share mine with you?
No, I have a supply back in my room.
Oh, all right. Here we go again. Spirit wrapping. Oh, now I've made it angry.
Shut up. Listen to me. Whoever you are, my name is Alex Garth. I would like to help you, but I can't unless...
Doesn't want to talk to you, evidently, Alex.
We'll see. Although you're my friend in the lie, you are often a disturbing influence.
Now, I won't deny that I'm an unbeliever. So I'll turn in now that the fire's going. And you can go back to your side of the room and commune with the spirits.
And with each other, Tim. We'll check with each other, as we always do. Oh, quiet, Byron. It's all right, boy. It's all right. Oh, trust me, Byron. You like your ears rubbed.
Oh, no, you expect me to sleep with all that racket going on? Has Byron gone bananas?
Well, I'm trying to quiet him. Easy, boy, easy. It's all over. Tim, is there any way we can get Byron out of here? He's beginning to froth at the mouth. He's covered with perspiration.
Well, I don't want to let him out now. He'll just get lost. He'll get over it when he sees nothing's happening. Hey.
What?
My lights just went out. How are yours?
Going. Go. Easy, boy, easy. I know you're in trouble. Please, let me help you. If you'll show yourself, I could help you. I've helped others. Believe me. Is your name Lucy? Lucy Endicott? If you are Lucy, would you rap twice? Can you? Byron, come here. Come here, I said. Lucy, you're frightening a dumb animal. You're not frightening me. I'm sure you don't want to terrify a beast who's never done you any harm. Byron, come here. Come out of that corner. Come to me. Come on, good God. Come on.
Alex, the fire's going out in here. So we go to the candles. You've plenty of matches, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm really worried about Byron.
Oh, somebody's playing games. I'd try to find the fuse box if I could, but... Hey.
What is it, Tim?
Well, whoever's at the controls is pretty good. A nice cold gust of wind just blew out the match I was using to light the candle.
Well, I've got a couple of candles lit. You want one?
Oh, no, thanks. I'm not scared of the dark. That pounding, that's a new one, isn't it, Alex?
It's new to me. It isn't spirit rapping.
Sounds like someone wants in.
You want to go down and open the door?
Oh, no chance. Hey, Alex, is your side of the room rocking like a boat?
I'm steady as a rock.
Was that Byron?
Yes.
What happened?
I'm not sure. He's dead, Tim.
What?
His neck seems to have been broken. Tim, did you hear me? I said Byron is dead. Tim, are you all right? Tim, what is it?
Run for your life.
Deserted by his friend and ally, Tim Kelly, who fled in terror from unknown fears, Garth knew that he had to face the rest of the night alone as the heavy outer door boomed closed behind Tim Kelly.
Will you show yourself now? I promise not to run away like my friend. You'll never find peace unless you let me help you. There can be no rest for you except through me. Do you think you're being punished for some sin you committed when you were alive? That isn't you. Is it, Lucy? Please, let me help you. I will not let you in, and I will not leave this house. Rocking the room doesn't frighten me. I'm not afraid.
Mr. Coggins! We've split a top gallon. Keep her steady or I'll kill you! That letter I received in Trinidad tells me that my Lucy, my wife, isn't carrying on under the roof of the house that I built for her with young John Rogers. So, Mr. Coggins, we're going to drive for home and to hell with the storm.
Nightmares. We've all experienced them. But I venture to say that none of us has experienced the horrible sights, shapes, and sounds that Alex Garth saw and heard in that dark room of the haunted house for the next hour. And when he still held hard to his sanity and what remained of his courage, the apparitions changed in character. Garth no longer knew what was real and what was fantasy. He later told me that he may even have fallen asleep, hard as that may be to believe.
Alex? Alex Garth?
Lucy?
I am Lucy. Am I not fair, Alex Garth?
Yes.
Even beautiful?
Very beautiful.
Would you not like to touch me, Alex?
Even if I wanted to, I could not.
You think I am cold and repulsive. That is what you think. John, tell Alex how nice I am to touch.
You are very nice to the touch, Lucy.
Was John your lover?
You do nothing but ask questions, Alex Garth.
What should I do, Lucy?
Make me feel once more the touch of a man you love, and...
Lucy, you're in torment. I can only give you peace.
Torment? Why should I be unhappy? I live here in my house, and... Of course, we were naughty, John and I. We tried to frighten you. But that was only because I don't like strangers in my home. Apologize to Alex, John.
This is a childish game you're playing, Lucy.
But I adore games. I love games. Come, dance a minuet with me, Alex. Isn't the music lovely, Alex?
I don't dance the minuet, Lucy.
John, you dance with me. This was how John and I first met. Doesn't he dance beautifully, Alex?
Very beautifully.
Remember, John? Remember how you looked at me that night?
Yes, and that old witch Hannah saw it and wrote the letter to your husband.
Oh, not then, John. It was much later. Look at me that way again, John. Oh, you're no fun. No fun anymore at all, John. Alex, you come and dance with me.
No, thank you.
You are afraid, Alex.
Yes, I am afraid.
John, you heard. He is afraid.
I said I was afraid, Lucy, but not terrified.
Fiddlesticks. You play with words, Alex Garth.
And you want me to play ghostly games with death, don't you, Lucy?
Alex Garth, wake up.
I wasn't asleep.
You are here to drive me from my home.
Are you happy in your home, Lucy?
I will not leave. You shall fail. Others have tried. Would you like to see what happened to those others? I have a mirror you can look into in my room, just down the hall. Look in that mirror if you dare.
I think I've been given a fairly good idea already.
Leave this house, Alex. For your own sake, leave.
Tomorrow morning, Lucy.
Tomorrow will be too late.
Dizzy. My head's going around.
Sit down. Sit down, Alex Garth, and the room will stop spinning. There. That's better, isn't it?
I'm still dizzy.
I warned you. Now, Alex Garth, now, look at me.
Good Lord!
You do not find me beautiful now, Alex Garth. Not now with the blood flowing from the wounds inflicted on me by my husband when he murdered me.
Not murdered, executed.
You would not like to kiss me now, Alex Garth.
Stay where you are.
You need not worry about my blood staining your clothes. It will not even show.
Stay away! Stay away!
I warned you, Alex Garth. You think no one would wish to embrace me now, with the cuts and wounds and blood disfiguring me. Is that what you think?
I'm not listening.
Someone will wish to kiss me. Someone who loves me.
I will kiss you, Lucy. I will embrace you.
And I will embrace you, John, my love, even with the blood flowing from your poor dear.
I can't look. I can't.
It will do you no good to put your hands over your eyes, Alex. You will still see the bloodied lovers kiss.
No, I won't witness this horror. My thoughts are mine, and they're real. You're phantoms, and you don't exist.
For many we don't, but you know that we do. We are here, and we are real. And the only way you can banish us from your mind's eye is to run. Run, as your wise friend did. Run, and you'll see us no more.
No. No, Lucy. I'm not leaving this house.
This is the carriage bearing me to the burial ground, Alex. If you open your eyes, you can see into the coffin. The undertaker did a fine job. I looked almost as pretty as I did before I died. I was wearing the dress you see me in, Alex, and the only mourner following the carriage was my mother, the only person in the town who wasn't afraid of my husband's wrath, the only person who didn't believe I was a wanton. Do you believe that?
Yes.
You do?
Yes. Everyone feared Captain Hatch. And you, Lucy, most of all, you still fear him.
No. Oh, why won't you go?
Like you, Lucy, I am bound.
How bound?
By my knowledge, by my pride, by knowing if I leave now, I've failed.
You have stayed longer than anyone.
Not long enough.
You mustn't stay. What you have seen is... it will be worse and dangerous for you. Even more dangerous.
I mean, you're afraid for me?
Yes.
Why?
You really don't know.
Of course not.
But you've seen John. Have you not noticed that you are very alike?
Well, I really hadn't looked that closely.
Would you?
No, I believe you.
Then you must see how dangerous it is for you now.
Then help me.
I cannot.
If you would trust me and tell me what the control is, I could help.
You're very wise, Alex, but this is something beyond your wisdom.
Try me.
It's impossible. I am held here by forces stronger than yours.
How do you know what my powers are?
I told you, you are not the first who has been here, but you are the bravest, and your courage will destroy you.
Hello.
Mr. Flanders?
Who's this?
Kelly. Tim Kelly.
Where are you?
Boston.
What are you doing?
Mr. Flanders, I owe an apology, but I owe Alex a lot more than that. Mr. Flanders, you've got to get Alex out of that house.
What happened?
Just get him out.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning, Kelly. You woke me up. I'm not quite functioning yet. What did you see? What's in that house?
Demons.
Well, I thought you didn't believe in ghosts.
No, but I believe in evil. And Mr. Flanders, in that house, you can actually feel the presence of evil. It's all around you, and it's dangerous.
Now, listen, Kelly, Garth knew what he was getting into. It's up to him to handle it.
But I tell you, his life is at stake.
Well, if you're convinced of that, then it's up to you to do something about it. Not to run away.
You speak to me of powers, Alex Garth, yet you are afraid to test them.
What kind of test do you propose?
The mirror. The mirror in my room.
Let's go. Well, come along.
I'm warning you, Alex Garth.
Wait a second.
Your death machine will not help you.
Death machine. Oh, you mean the revolver.
Call it what you like. It spits fire and noise and has been used stupidly by stupid people against us. Surely you know better, Alex Garth.
No, it gives me something to hold on to. Come on.
You could try to hold on to me.
This is your room?
You fear to go in?
Well, I'm wondering what it is about this room that... This is the room Tim ran out of, isn't it?
The mirror is over here. Now, look in the mirror, Alex Garth. Look well. See, Alex Garth?
Is that you, Lucy?
It is I, Alex, as a very young girl.
And your schoolmates? Who are they?
Schoolmates.
Is John among them?
Look. Look in the mirror.
I can't make out the faces. Now you're grown. I can't. Oh! No! No!
Stupid. Stupid, stupid. Breaking the mirror isn't going to change anything, Alex Garth. The only thing you can do is leave.
I'm not leaving, Lucy, until dawn.
If you stay, your mind becomes a mirror. A mirror for all the things you don't want to look at.
Well, if I have to look, I will.
Then farewell, Alex Garth. You and I will see each other. But we can no longer talk until you join us.
Join you?
You are doomed. You will join John and me here in my home for all eternity. And God help you, Alex Garth, because I no longer can.
Lucy. Lucy, is that you? Lucy, my darling, my love, I must go now.
No, no. Please stay a little longer. Just a little longer, dear heart.
Why did you marry him, Lucy?
You went away, John, my love. You left and never said a word.
How could I, Lucy? You know I didn't have a penny.
You could have told me you loved me.
You knew that. You knew it all the time we were growing up.
Sometimes when people grow up, they change, John. And I was afraid you no longer cared for me.
That's why you married the captain?
I didn't want to be an old maid.
Oh, there was no chance of that.
I was afraid. I was afraid, John. And he was so strong. John, I'm going to have a child.
What?
I'm going to have a baby, John. Your baby.
You're sure?
I'm sure.
Then we have to leave. You must come away with me, Lucy.
Where will we go?
West. To a new place. For a fresh start. Somewhere where Ephraim can't find us.
There is no such place.
Of course there is. Lucy, you know what will happen if Ephraim discovers that...
Ephraim won't be home for at least a week. He was in Trinidad the last I heard...
Lucy! Lucy, it's me, your husband. Come on down and unbolt the door.
No.
What do we do?
Hide! I must let him in.
Where?
Anywhere. Quick. There, in my wardrobe, behind my gown.
Lucy!
Coming, Ephraim. Just getting my robe.
Don't be wasting your time, Lucy. It's been 4 months since I've seen you last. All right, Lucy. Where is he?
Who?
John Rogers, your lover.
Have you gone mad, Ephraim?
Aye, maybe. Mad with jealousy.
Oh.
Stop lying and tell me where he is.
You're hurting me.
Aye, and I'll be hurting you a lot more unless you tell me where he is.
Who put those terrible ideas into your head?
The widow Davies, that's who.
And you believe that old gossip?
Tell me she lies. Tell me.
She lies.
Aye. Lie there and snivel whilst I roust out your fancy man from wherever he's cowering.
There's no one here, Ephraim. As God is my witness, No, one here at all.
Well, for your sake, I hope you're right. But the widow told me she saw him sneaking into this house tonight.
She lied. She lied.
Maybe. And now, how about your wardrobe?
Ephraim! I am with child.
Get up on your feet.
The child is yours, Ephraim. Your child.
You think I'll have my wife carrying another man's child? No.
Oh! You'll be killing your own child.
Liar! Cheat! Stop! Stop! Aha! He's here. The man who got you with child. Then come here and stop me. Come on.
No. You know I can't do that.
Can't? You mean you won't?
You know as well as I do that I've never had anything to do with your wife. Just as you know very well who I am. What I'm trying to do here.
Then do it. I'll match my blade against your pistol anytime.
Captain!
No, John! No!
So, you came out at last, did you? Now, tell me how you like the taste of steel.
Here, have another drink, Garth. You look as if you need it.
Flanders, there isn't enough liquor in the world to warm me. Not after what I saw at your house.
Then it is haunted.
By ghosts beyond anything in my experience.
Can you help me?
I hope so, but I'm not sure. I managed to stay the night, and I barely managed to survive. There's one room in the house that seems to be the focal point of all the manifestations. That's the room I believe was occupied by Captain Hatch's young wife, Lucy. That's the room from which Tim ran last night. And that's the room in which I saw things no man should ever have to see.
And you propose?
To hire some workmen.
No, that's impossible. I told you what happened when I had workmen.
I can understand why no workmen from around this area will go near the place. I intend to import a couple of men I've used before.
Well, you could try it, but what would you want them to do?
To dig into and around that room and see if we can find something that will account for the hauntings.
We?
Well, you and I will be with them.
Correction. I hired you, Garth. You'll be with them. And report back to me. Hello?
Flanders, this is Alex Garth. I'm calling you from a diner just down the road from the house.
With good news?
With news. My workman walked out.
Well, that's that.
If you want that house cleansed, all I ask is you meet me there in half an hour.
Well, why do you need me?
Well, for two reasons. One, I don't know what may have to be done to the house, which is your property. And two, I don't think one man can do all the necessary digging that may have to be done.
Oh, I see what you mean about this room.
Yeah, we'll try not to think about this house or the stories about it. Just hand me that hammer.
What do you want with a hammer?
I want to test these walls and floors.
You think there's a secret passage or some nonsense like that?
Well, I don't know what there is, but there must be something. You'll have to take my word for it that what goes on in this house isn't an ordinary lost or restless spirit seeking solace. It's something that's planned and controlled.
How?
That's what I hope to find out. Ah! Here.
You found something?
I think so. Listen.
That sounds hollow.
Yes. And the further down you go towards the floor, the hollower it sounds. Hand me that crowbar.
Well, maybe we should let things be.
Not if you want to rid the house of the ghosts.
But what will we find?
Lord knows. Here goes.
And wait. Can't you handle this without me?
You scared?
Well, I think I'd feel better if I stepped outside.
Be over in a minute.
I don't think I'm going to be able to stand this.
Well, just think of something else. You get a thought, you hold on to it.
Well, I can only think of the sea and the storm and the ship driving and a woman.
Flanders, hold on to me. Hang on. And look. Look, there's nothing down there but a room. Look for yourself.
God, why should I be so terrified? Why do I want to run?
There are steps. Come on.
No, you want me to go down there?
Come on, it's only an empty room.
I'm not so sure it's empty.
Come on.
No.
Steady now.
What's that?
It's a table.
There's something on it.
I know. Let's see.
It's just a plain saucer.
Yeah, the saucer's plain. But look what's in it.
What is that stuff?
Well, I'm not sure, but it looks to me like... or something like mercury. I'll bet there's mercury in it. Well, we'll have to have it analyzed.
What's that on top of it?
A needle.
Look at it spin.
I see. But don't you see anything else?
No.
Well, look under the saucer.
Looks like a slip of paper.
It does indeed. Let's have a look at it, if I can get it out without disturbing the... There we are.
There's writing on it. What does it say?
As moves this needle, so moves my will. Accursed be this house and all who dwell therein. See to it that they find neither rest nor tranquility, but be doomed to eternal agony and torment beyond the ken of man and woman. To which I affix my seal and signature, Ephraim Hatch, master of the schooner Lucy.
Do you mean to tell me that this piece of paper, that saucer of liquid and a needle...
Look out! The saucer! Be careful! Oh. Quick, the ladder! Hurry, Flanders!
The smoke! I can't breathe!
The ladder! Quickly! I'm right behind you!
How do you say thanks to a man who saved your life?
Oh, don't bother. You wouldn't have been down there in the first place if I hadn't insisted. I owed it to you to get you out of there.
Garth.
Yes?
I want to explain about my upsetting the saucer. I wouldn't say this to anyone except you, but I'll swear that something pushed my hand. Do you believe that?
Yes, Flanders, I believe it. And now your house is cleansed. The fire will see to that.
For those of you who are skeptical about the existence of such things as ghosts, I have a suggestion. Find a house reputed to be haunted and spend a night there, and then let me know about it. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
you just tell her she turned your brains into a souffle and be done with it?
George, you say something?
Your mistake was to become friends. It's the wrong approach. She thinks of you as a big brother. If you want my advice, you should...
You think I'm hung up on Nancy? I work for her father. With Mr. Drew out of town, I just feel responsible, that's all.
Then why are your glasses all fogged up?
Very funny.
Go on the way you're going, and somebody else will always be taking her for moonlit rides.
Nancy's not interested in any moonlit rides. She's a very serious-minded girl.
Brandon's gonna show me his new ski boat. You guys wanna come?
Ski boat, well, it's too cold.
Well, it's a big moon. With any luck, we should be able to spot a few fine fish.
Well, what about your guest, Brandon? I mean, it's your party.
We'll be back before we're missed.
Well, I really don't think
we wouldn't miss it. Let's go.
Something's wrong.
You're darn right. It's cold.
Aw, you're such a hopeless romantic.
Slow down. Brandon, could you stop the boat a minute? Hand me your flashlight.
Nancy, you see a flying fish?
I think so. Only he isn't flying.
And there's a reason that fish isn't flying. It's dead.
Let's keep going. They're usually all over the sky by the old lighthouse.
Now wait, this isn't the first one I've seen. I thought I saw one back there, and it looked dead too.
Maybe they flew onto the side of the cliff.
You mean they really fly?
Oh, sometimes 30 or 40 feet. Wow. Ned, look, there's dozens of them. Can you reach one? Look at that. It's limp.
Well, death does that to you.
Only when it's recent. Otherwise, it'd be stiff as a board.
Look at that wingspan.
Wow, they really fly.
Pirates used to think of them as good luck. If you saw one, you were on your way to a fortune.
What if you saw a dead one?
Your ship sank.
Fish are dead, Brandon. Let's go home.
We just got here. Let's go over to the old lighthouse.
Oh, no. That place gives me the creeps. It's deserted.
No, it's not.
Of course it is. Has been for years. The father represents the land it's on. I handle the account.
Well, how are you going to handle that? Somebody's in there.
Hey, that's private property. Come on, let's go.
We can't land it. There's too many rocks.
We'll head back to your house, Brandon. We'll call the sheriff. I think we got ourselves some vandals, gang. You call the sheriff, Brandon. We're gonna drive out to the lighthouse.
Hey, what about me?
I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Great party, Brandon. Come on, Nance.
Thanks for the ride, Brandon. It was a great party.
Yeah, no, Brandon, great party. Bye-bye.
Well, wait a minute.
Good evening, Sheriff.
Morning's more like it. All right, what's all this nonsense about vandals?
Well, we all saw a light coming out of the tower.
Oh?
Only there's a problem.
What's that?
Come have a look.
This lock ain't been off of here in years.
We all saw the light.
Oh, you did, huh?
That's right, Sheriff, we did.
Let me show you something.
But...
You come with me. Now, I want you all to notice. This tower is built of brick and mortar. Does everybody see that?
Yeah, we all see.
Further, I want you to see. There is no place on that tower where anybody could climb up to those windows.
Sheriff.
Further, none of the windows seems to be busted. So, even if a body could fly, there'd be no way for him to get inside once he was up there. We all together so far?
Yeah,
So, I don't see any way that anybody could possibly have been inside that tower for the past 5 years to be fooling around with a light. Unless we happen to be talking about a ghost. We're not talking about a ghost, are we?
We saw a light.
You saw a light up there, all right. The light was the moon, reflecting off the glass windows.
Well, maybe we could take the lock off, go inside and look around.
You do what you like. Your father manages the property. But you wait until morning, okay?
Okay. Thanks for coming out, Sheriff.
My job, but I prefer to do it in civilized hours.
Well, I guess that's that.
You going home?
Yeah. Well, what do you expect me to do? Well, what does she expect me to do? I don't get you two. We were obviously mistaken. Unless you're willing to tell me you think it was a ghost.
Ned, there was nobody to meet me at the airport. Where were you? And where's Nancy?
I've been looking for her, too.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, nothing's wrong. Exactly.
What's that mean? Nothing's wrong exactly.
Well, you know the sale of the lighthouse property?
Yes? What's the lighthouse got to do with Nancy?
Well, she might have gone out there.
What for?
Well, to look around.
Ned, am I going to have to drag this out of you one syllable at a time?
Well, you know Nancy, if she thinks there's some sort of mystery to solve. Well, don't worry. I'm going to go out there and straighten her out.
That's a great comfort to me, Ned. The day she started part-time investigative work for me was the beginning of my gray hairs. The only mystery about that lighthouse is why anybody would want to buy it.
Did you ever find out what that guy wanted it for?
Yes, I met with Professor Wall when I was in California, and he explained it all to me.
And?
I still don't understand it. He's heading up some kind of psychic research foundation.
Psychic? You mean as in,
Ghosts, yes. I figured I'd better close the deal in a hurry. I've been trying to unload that white elephant for old man Jensen for years. It's not often you run into a character who wants a property like that.
The professor's a wacko, huh?
Wacko's a little harsh, Ned. Actually, he's kind of a charming guy. Young, too.
Oh, I better get out there.
Ned, wait a minute. Ned, what's going on out there? Ned!
This is gonna take forever.
We'll take shifts. Yell when you get tired. I want to take another look around. Me first, huh?
You're the detective. I'm just a locksmith.
Part-time investigator. Want to trade?
Be careful.
You know what we need now?
Yeah, Sheriff King and a posse.
I'd settle for a flashlight.
You have one in the car?
Glove compartment.
I'll get it.
I'll get it.
I'm closer.
Oh, it's just a bat.
Oh, a bat, Nancy. Vampires are only bats. I quit.
Well, all right, go sit in the car. I have to look around.
Oh, not by yourself. Why? What for?
George, if bats can get in, there has to be another entrance.
Not necessarily large enough to let a human being in.
Whatever it is, I want to know. We did see a light in that tower last night, not the moon. Besides, I just found fresh tire tracks leading right to the edge of that cliff.
The cliff? Why would anyone park there?
Good question.
Nancy, instead of both of us looking around up there, why don't I try to figure out what those tire tracks mean?
Right.
You're not mad, are you?
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. I'm Jack Wald, Professor Wald, the new owner. You almost fell. Are you out here alone?
No, I...
Back out here on your own. You know this is private property and I'm responsible for any damage.
That's all right. Miss Drew was looking out for my interest, weren't you?
I'd be delighted. What are they?
Well, this old lighthouse for one, but you for another. Ned's told me about your concern for my property.
Nancy, this is Professor Wald, the new owner.
Jack Wald, how do you do?
Did you know your lighthouse came with a ghost?
I'd have demanded my money back if it hadn't.
Nancy, ghosts are the professor's business.
Parapsychology.
Really?
Are you interested?
Fascinated.
I'd say something now, Ned, or forever hold your peace.
Look, it's my responsibility to see that the lighthouse is in acceptable shape for you to sign off our trusteeship, Professor. So, if you'd like to have a look around with me.
I'd like to join you. There's a few things I'd like to point out to Professor Wall.
Fine, I'd appreciate that.
Nancy, I really think it best if you and George head back into town. We got a lot of ground to cover before dark.
Ned, in case you've forgotten, I also work for my father. Oh, Professor, do ghosts leave footprints?
Well, they've been known to break crystal, ring doorbell, set fires. I'm sure they could muster a few footprints. Why?
Well, your ghost spent some time in the light tower. Recently.
Really?
Well?
They were right there, in the dust.
What dust?
I don't know. The floor was covered with it. Well, look, you can still see some in the corner. It must have blown away.
I don't feel any breeze up here. This room's sealed.
It is blowing pretty hard outside. If there are any leaks, we'd certainly feel them by now.
Nancy, I couldn't have seen them. I chickened out by the stairs. I'm sorry.
Well, I did see them right there on the floor. And we all saw the light last night.
I believe you, Nancy. I appreciate your offer to help. It'll make placing my equipment a lot easier.
What equipment?
Monitoring devices. for locating timid ghosts. I'll install them this afternoon and get started tonight.
You're going to spend the night in here?
It's my work. Hopefully, I won't be alone.
He means the ghosts. He hopes he'll show up tonight.
Everyone's welcome.
Nancy, you must be out of your mind. I can't let you spend the night in a rat-infested old lighthouse.
Well, I don't know if I'd go so far as to call the professor a rat, but he sure does move fast.
Now, Ned, you stay out of this. You're not exactly unbiased, you know.
And neither are you. I mean, you're chasing some sort of ghost fantasy, and the professor's chasing you.
Now look who's imagining things. Besides, I'm not going alone. George is coming with me.
Me? I'm going.
I wonder if either one of you would be willing to spend the night in that spooky old place.
Mr. Drew, you're not actually considering letting them...
Ned, wait a minute. Let's keep our roles in perspective here. I'm Nancy's father. I'm supposed to have the wisdom of age at this point in my life. And after all, this fellow Wall is a full professor whose work dictates peculiar circumstances of this kind, right?
Dad, you're terrific. Come on, George. We got lots of work to do.
Sir.
Ned, you have to understand something. Nancy has a very inquisitive mind. She loves to unravel a mystery. But most of the investigative work she gets to do for the firm is confined to checking out driving records and searching through legal files. But now we're talking about ghosts. Come on, Ned. Think of the attraction.
The attraction is what I'm thinking about. And so is the professor, if you want my opinion.
Well, if you feel that way about it, why don't you go with them? I'm sure they'd love to have you.
No, thanks. I have to go over those briefs for you. I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Drew.
Right, Ned. She'll have a wonderful time.
It's nice of you girls to help me out.
It's my pleasure. I'll go back for another one. I don't believe him. I mean, he's an Adonis. I guess that's my way of saying I've changed my mind. I'm going to go to the lighthouse and spend the night with you and Professor Wall.
I wonder what he's up to. George, have you ever heard any stories about that old lighthouse being haunted?
No.
Neither have I. I wonder where the professor's heard them. He's from clear across the country in California.
That's a fair question.
Oh, excuse me for being nosy. I was wondering what our professor of parapsychology reads to put himself to sleep at night.
Ghost stories. What else?
This book's Lost Treasures of the World.
Yes. Well, a student of mine found this book in a small store in Carmel, California. He brought a chapter of it to my attention. A chapter on a haunted lighthouse.
Our lighthouse?
Let me show you something. I traced this map from the book onto this piece of paper. There. Now, watch what happens when I superimpose this over this road map of the area. There.
The coast. Right outside of River Heights. It matches the old map perfectly.
Yes. Took me over 3 years to find this small spot on the coast. I think if I'd been a treasure hunter, I never would have found it. But since I'm constantly researching ghost legends, I ran across mention of an old lighthouse in this area.
I've never heard of any legends surrounding our lighthouse.
Now, the story predates this lighthouse. It really pertains to a series of old caves, over which a lighthouse was subsequently built, but years later. The caves were the private vault of a pirate who sailed these coastal waters in the later 1700s.
Where do the ghosts come in?
Well, the good captain took 4 captured seamen of the King's Navy and sealed them into a room of stone to guard his treasure until his return.
Oh, that's awful.
Yes, unless you work in parapsychology. No spirit like a troubled spirit to make things really unpleasant for the living.
Troubled ghosts are active ghosts.
Yes, they love to make their presence known. For the skeptical among us, that's a theory we'll have a good chance to prove in just a few hours. And we'd better finish with the equipment. Would you two bring the mics and cables? They're fairly light.
Sure. And who made you the foreman? Come on.
George, didn't the professor say that a student gave him this book and that he's been looking for the lighthouse for 3 years?
Yes, why?
This book was checked out of a Los Angeles library last June.
He lied to us.
Why?
Nancy, I think we'd better call off a little seance tonight.
No, No, absolutely not. No, don't breathe a word about this to the professor, because he's up to something, and right now we have the upper hand.
But I want to know what it is before I go spend the night in a haunted lighthouse.
Well, one thing I'm sure of, that lighthouse is hiding something. We're going to find out what it is.
What I'd like to know is why we couldn't all ride out together.
Simple. The professor needed time to set up all his ghosts and goblins for us.
You really think he's going to try to scare us?
Oh, I bet we're in for quite a show.
If he's staging this, he's very good.
The rain I'm not sure about, but the rest I am.
The rest of what? Come on, inside, quickly. My apologies for the weather.
I'd have thought you'd been pleased. Ghosts must love this kind of night.
Now, who says so? Here, let me help you off with that.
Oh, I'll keep it on if you don't mind. It's freezing in here.
Well, a wet coat certainly won't help. Besides, I've got a room below all set up.
I'll bet.
Now, watch the steps, Nancy. They're damp and very slippery.
Okay.
Hey, this is first class.
Only the bare necessities, a little hot chocolate, snacks, as you may desire them, fresh fruit, cheese, whatever your wants, ladies.
This isn't a ghost hunt, it's a banquet.
What do you have here to ward off angry spirits?
Chocolate chip cookies. Maybe a while. There's no reason we can't be comfortable, right?
What's all this stuff do?
All this stuff listens. I have every part of this old tower rigged for sound. Believe me, if anything moves in this relic tonight, we'll know it.
That's what I'm afraid of.
So, the people came to believe that the tortured spirits of these imprisoned men haunted the passages of the old caverns and preyed on any living thing that came within the shadow of this piece of coastline. Entire ships and crews were known to vanish.
Oh, the fish.
What?
No, George.
No, Nancy, the fish. There were hundreds of them, dead by the base of the lighthouse.
What are you talking about?
Some dead fish, but I'm sure there's no connection with the legend.
It could be significant. Suggests a rather unpleasant possibility.
What's that?
That the spirits here were at rest until my activities stirred them up.
Could have gone all night without you saying that.
I'm sure it isn't that. We've already been here for over 3 hours, and we haven't had so much as a peep out of these machines. I'm afraid to say it looks as though this evening might turn into a bust.
Nancy. Nancy! The steps, don't you hear it?
We've waited 3 hours for this show to begin. How can we leave now?
I wouldn't be facetious, Nancy. The power of some spirits would amaze you.
Mine's not so bad either. Ghosts of the lost galleons who haunt the tower on the cliff, be gone.
What happened?
That's what happened.
show's over. Well, I suppose you want me to pack it all up and tell your father the deal's off.
I'm not sure he wants to cancel it.
Cancel what? What's going on?
My guess is the professor is hunting for treasure, and he didn't want anybody to know about it.
Why not? It's his property.
Yes, but it's not final. Your young friend Ned decided to get fancy when he was drawing up the sale papers in her father's absence. He threw in a clause excluding all rights under the ground.
Offshore oil rights are a big issue on this coast.
Nancy, I don't care about oil rights. Your father can keep them for the previous owner. I'm only interested in the treasure, if it even exists.
I think we'd better go talk to my father.
I find myself on the horns of a dilemma, Professor. If I walk away from your purchase, I'll be voiding a sale my client wants very badly. He and his wife are getting pretty old, and they might like to make a last trip back to Ireland.
Well, my offer still stands, Mr. Drew. I'd be willing to sign over any...
On the other hand, if there really is a handsome treasure someplace on that property, then as things now stand, they're entitled to it.
In my defense, sir, the treasure has been given up for lost for almost 200 years. It's hardly a sure thing. I'm taking a very expensive gamble as it is.
I'm going to surprise you, Professor. I'll make you a deal. I'll sell you the property, including all mineral rights and all bounties below the surface.
You're a fair man, Mr. Drew.
For double the original price.
Double?
And my client gets 10% of anything you find.
10%?
Take it or leave it.
I don't think I have much choice.
Oh, yeah. You can walk away from River Heights and our lighthouse.
I have a feeling if I'd been up front with you when I first got here, you'd have sold it to me for the original price, including all rights.
That's correct.
You're quite a man, Mr. Drew. Your daughter's pretty sharp, too. I accept your offer.
Good.
Good night.
Good night.
Does Jensen know about the professor's map and the treasure?
I told him, and he told me to drive the hardest bargain I could without losing the sale. Well, that was pretty close.
But he could be giving up a fortune.
Now, old man Jensen doesn't see it that way, George. Let's see, how did he put it? When it comes to looking for gold, try to be the one that sells the pick and shovels. That's the only sure way to get rich. I think Mr. Jensen will be very happy with tonight's arrangement. Well, night, George.
Good night.
Nance.
Night. Father, if you don't mind, I'd like to be there tomorrow when the professor starts looking for his treasure.
Why?
I don't know. It's just a feeling I have about Professor Wall. He went to a lot of trouble to get his hands on that lighthouse, and I just don't see him as any wide-eyed innocent.
Well, I don't see what harm it could do for you to be there to look after Mr. Jensen's 10%. Okay. Don't stay up too late now.
Nancy, I know that look. What is it?
That old legend about those 4 men being buried alive in the cave.
But it is just a legend.
Sure. But we still haven't explained those footprints I found in the tower yesterday.
Professor Wall made them.
Okay, let's say he made them. How did he make them disappear? He was outside with you. I saw you together from the tower, and I went down to meet you. We all went back upstairs, and the footprints were gone.
Nancy, I wouldn't go back to that lighthouse, even if I wanted to, and I don't want to.
George, do me a favor tomorrow, first thing.
First thing, I'm going to New York with my mother.
Even better. Call the big library there.
Nancy, why?
I don't know. But I want you to check out that book the professor had.
Ah, Nancy.
Nancy, what makes you so sure there's another entrance to the lighthouse down here?
There's gotta be one. It's the only logical place I can think of.
Well, I've walked around here about 1,000 times, and I've never seen any hole in these cliffs. Besides, why does there have to be another entrance?
The dust.
What dust?
The dust inside that tower had blown clear across the room, and there was no wind coming in from the outside. There must be some kind of a powerful updraft that comes through the center of that tower. I'll bet it whistles all through those old caves.
Well, it's a good theory. Could even explain the light in the tower. But what it won't explain is who it is that's running around the old place and why.
Don't you believe in ghosts? Universities do.
Come on, Nancy, that's not funny.
Neither is that.
I don't believe it. I've never seen that cave before.
That's because it hasn't been there before.
What do you mean it's never been there before?
My guess is that we're looking at an opening that's been sealed up, and now somebody's blown it open.
An explosion like that would have been heard for miles.
Isn't this low tide?
Yeah, but... Oh, I get it. Well, that cave entrance would be deep underwater during high tide, and no one would hear an underwater explosion.
That would account for all the dead fish. They were killed by concussion. And the tire tracks by the cliff. He must have driven to the edge and lowered himself down to plant the charges. Hey, Ned, when's high tide?
Oh, pretty soon, but what's the point? I mean, it had to be the professor who did it. He won't deny it.
He's not telling us the entire truth, Ned. At least I know he's not in this alone. Somebody was in that tower yesterday. Who? And if the professor knows, why isn't he telling us?
I don't know.
Maybe we'll find out when we get inside that cave.
You mean us go in that hole?
You know a better way to get to the bottom of this?
The bottom of what? I mean, we don't even know where that goes.
There's only one way to find out.
Right.
Hey, Ned, look at that. That door doesn't look 18th century.
It's not. It's 20th century. Around 1930.
Just like that? You know the door's 1930?
Well, you're not the only one doing homework on the old place. I found out it has a history slightly more recent than our pirate friends. The smugglers needed places along the coast, and they can duck in and hide from the Coast Guard. Show the lights that he...
You think they use these caves beneath the lighthouse?
Well, I talked to old man Jensen this morning, the guy who's selling the property. And he says the lighthouse was their favorite spot. Made it possible for them to spot the Coast Guard for 100 miles. The Coast Guard finally sealed it shut. Dynamite in 1932.
Maybe the professor isn't hunting for treasure. I mean, maybe he has something to do with some organized criminals.
Oh, I doubt it. I'm sure they went through this place with a fine-tooth comb before they sealed it shut. I think that's gonna do it. Better step back. It's okay.
Oh,
it's all right. I don't know. It's long gone. Well, let's keep going, all right?
The floor is getting awfully damp around here.
This area must be getting down close to sea level.
How could we be getting down close to sea level when we're going uphill? Ned, we're definitely going up, and so is the water.
Well, I could tell you why that phenomenon is happening, but you're not going to like it.
Oh, the tide's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I don't like it. Is that the tide?
It sure is. If we don't get through there now, we're never going to get out.
I say we keep going.
But what if we get trapped?
Well, you said it yourself. There has to be another way to the lighthouse. This is the only tunnel we found. This has to be it.
Forget it. It's too dangerous. Let's go.
What's that? We keep going.
I guess so.
Maybe this is the door to the lighthouse.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little more trouble with this one. It's metal.
Help! Somebody help!
This door must be watertight. I don't feel anything getting past.
It can't be. I feel trapped in here.
Help!
Ah!
Nancy, get up on my shoulders.
Ned, you'll drown if I do.
Just do what I say. Get up there so you can keep pounding.
Ned, I feel wind up here.
Never mind the wind. Worry about the water. Nancy, where are you?
Ned, you're not going to believe this.
I'm not gonna be.
You all right?
Yeah, a little damp. You got here just in time.
I hate to think what would have happened if I got here a minute later.
Nancy,
Nancy was with you. Where is she?
she went through a hole in the ceiling.
What?
I'm here.
I'm rich. I'm rich.
They are the real thing. Doubloons, pieces of 8.
I think if it hadn't been for Nancy, I never would have found it.
Well, it was Ned's shoulders that made it possible.
True, true.
I'd say everybody came out pretty well. You know, if your estimate is correct, Professor, you're going to net $2 million from that find. And that will entitle you to $200,000, Mr. Jensen.
Sure, and that's a lot more than I figured I'd ever see. Why, that'll buy me and the missus our trip to Ireland 1,000 times over.
Yes, it will. Well, we have some papers to sign. Why don't you come on over to the desk?
Oh, thank you.
Ned?
Well, it looks like the perfect ending.
Nancy!
George, how is New York?
Oh, incredible. A shopping spree to end all. But wait till I show you what I got.
I've got nothing but time. You seem to have solved the lighthouse problem.
Oh, no. And here I am charging in with what I thought was a sensational clue.
What is it?
Well, they had the same treasure book the professor showed us. I used the library photocopier to duplicate that chapter. Now look at the map. You'll notice something pretty peculiar.
They're not the same.
Right.
They're almost the same. This one's about a lighthouse in Florida. George, you're the greatest.
Well, hello.
Hi.
You, come to help me load my van?
Not exactly.
You love a mystery, don't you?
This one's been quite a challenge.
Yes, but you solved it.
Yes, I think so.
Well, I've got a lot to do. If you want to talk, you'll either have to wait for me or follow me around. Ah, do you see this ghost? She's a brave lass.
I've never thought of you as particularly dangerous. But you are devious. And smart.
Now, what are you talking about?
Well, you rewrote history and put your own chapter into that textbook. That was to give credibility for us finding the treasure.
But Nancy, we did find the treasure.
We found a treasure. But I think you planted it there.
Oh, I see. I bought this old lighthouse, lugged in $2 million in gold, just so I could give away a $200,000 reward.
That's right. Because you wanted to be able to spend the money. All income has to be reported to the government. That means you have to report where all the money came from. Gangsters go to all sorts of trouble to put crooked money into their legitimate bank accounts.
Come on, Nancy. Do I look like a gangster?
Doesn't mean you couldn't be dishonest. If I were to guess, I'd say you somehow got your hands on $2 million you couldn't explain.
Explain to whom?
The Internal Revenue Service, your friends, maybe even the police. Unless you wanted to leave the United States, you had to come up with a story for all your newfound wealth. And that reward would be a small price to pay for putting all that money into your bank account. No questions asked.
Who knows you came out here?
Everybody.
They also know why?
Of course.
No. They never would have let you come.
They give you life for murder.
Unfortunately, Nancy, they also give you life for hijacking an airliner. Nancy!
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I don't want to, Nancy. Believe me. I didn't want any of this, but they were watching me. Nancy, I got away with $2 million. Parachuted into a forest, broke both my legs. Sat alone in a cave and mended myself back into shape. Then, when I came out, I couldn't spend a dime. Nothing. They were watching me. I don't know how, but they suspected something. They just couldn't prove it. But I still couldn't spend a dime. It's taken me 3 years to pull this off. I'm sorry, Nancy. I'm sorry you've left me no other choice.
Hold it right there, Professor!
We waited a long time, Professor. You almost got away with it.
You almost had us beat, Professor.
You were the ghost in the tower.
That's right. We knew he'd try to wash the money somehow. Gold coins. Very clever. Well, when he bought this land, we just waited and watched. His scheme was darn near foolproof. Almost worked. You hadn't smoked him out, young lady.
Nancy!
Take him away.
You all right?
I'm fine, Father.
What happened here? George told us that you'd rush back out here, and about the book.
This young lady took a big chance confronting the professor.
She's always taking chances. She seems to think she's some sort of detective.
Part-time investigator.
Let me tell you something. I've been on this case 3 years. She isn't bad.
Thanks a lot for the dinner, Mr. Drew.
Listen, Ned, I owe you a lot more than the dinner for getting Nancy out of that fix.
Me, too.
Oh, it was nothing. All in the line of duty. At least we cracked the case.
We sure did. And tell me, Ned, how did the professor convert his $2 million into old coins?
Well...
He became a coin dealer. Right, Ned?
Yeah, that's right. A coin dealer.
He placed mail order ads in European newspapers all over, buying pieces of eight, doubloons, whatever fit the bill. They were purchased through a post office box It took him 3 years to accumulate a trunk full. Right, Ned?
Yeah, that's right. I give up. How did you figure that one out, Nancy?
Elementary, my dear Ned. First, I removed a small coin from this old antique to buy the morning paper. And I read the professor's full confession.
Come with me then, 10 you'll drop, 'cause you're rocking it.